Neighbor keeps stealing power for electric car. My neighbor and I have a shared driveway. I own my house but the neighboring house is a rental. Last year, I bought an electric car, and paid to have a charger installed on my side of the driveway. When I installed it, the previous tenants asked if they could use it on 2 occasions for guests who had electric cars, and I agreed that they could. Well, the new tenants apparently feel that they're welcome to use it whenever they like to charge their own car. They've actually unplugged my car in order to plug in theirs on a couple of occasions. Of course, this uses my power, but also prevents me from charging my own car, which has caused problems. I went over and asked them to stop using my power, and they were extremely rude and said that it was included in their lease, and that their landlord told them it was included in the property.
Talking to them has been completely useless. In fact, when I unplugged their car and plugged in my own, they came over and banged on the door, threatening to sue me. I haven't been able to get in touch with their landlord. The 3rd or 4th time I found them charging their car on my plug, I called the police, who told me that this was a civil matter, and wouldn't intervene. What can I do, at this point, to stop them from using my charger? This is in Indiana. You can look into a lock or mechanism that would prevent them from plugging in. If your car is not charging, you can also throw the breaker so there is no power, or consider moving the charger inside your garage.
Civil matter is BS. It's theft and criminal. I work for an electric utility, and when people are caught bypassing the meter, stealing electricity, the popo join us as we visit them to deal with the problem. I would push harder with the police.
The police might not be correct about this being solely a civil matter. Depending on the setup in place, the neighbor might be trespassing. Regardless, it doesn't matter what the landlord communicated to your neighbor. Your plug means your electricity. Even if the landlord mistakenly offered it as part of the rental, which I doubt, or else the neighbor never would have asked permission in the beginning before becoming more presumptuous, that doesn't mean you owe the neighbor anything. Anyway, you do have a valid civil claim against your neighbor for the value of the electricity they have stolen. However, electricity is relatively cheap, so a few nights of charging probably only amounts to a few dollars. Without knowing your exact setup, it's not possible to know which of these might be of use, but some ideas.
Does your car have a setting which prevents the charging cable from being unplugged if the car is locked? Can you set up alerts with your car to let you know when charging has been interrupted? Can you move your car into your garage to charge? Can you control the breaker for the charging spot? Can you get a physical lock for the charging cable, like a cover that goes over the end of the cable so it cannot be plugged in? Can you get a cable that is so short that it barely reached your car and cannot reach wherever your neighbor is parked? Send a certified letter to the tenant demanding they stop using the charger. It is not included in their lease as you own the charger. If they continue to use it, call the police for every instance. Also consider a dash camera that can be activated without having you drive the car. Installing cameras around your house would be good, and have one pointed at the car charging area. Every time they unplug your car, you will have evidence.
I'd get a disconnect hooked up to it and only turn it on when you need it. Any electrician would be able to do this.
You can call the police and escalate, as this is considered theft of service trespass. You can also add a disconnect for the charger that is unlocking, or deactivate the breaker. I would send them a certified letter to cease and desist, as well as to the landlord. If it continues, file suit in court for theft of service and name both landlord and tenant. Even for a nominal sum, a recorded win is enforcement and makes the landlord consider eviction. NAL. Everybody is suggesting how to secure your plug, which is good, but my top priority would be finding their landlord. Can't suggest how is best for you, but I'd just call all the local letting agents, check council, land registry records, and Google the address in some form to find listings for starters. Your neighbors sound like fucking nutters, so better someone else tells them to stop. It's not a civil matter, it's theft of service. Till it gets sorted out, shut off the breaker for that device. They will stop using it when it doesn't work. If not, that you could look for a lockbox and lock it when not in use. From there, if they break the lockbox, then it is destruction of property.
Is locking access an option? It seems this would be a common issue and the market would support special EV charger locks.
Is there any way to physically moor the charger inside and then only have enough cord length to charge your car? This way, even if they unplug your car, the cord won't reach theirs. Also, get a security cam so you have proof they came into your property and touched your car. IANAL. I am sorry you are having to deal with this issue. I own several rental properties myself, and if one of my tenants was stealing anything from a neighbor, they would be out on the street. With that being said, because of COVID, I am not allowed to kick people out for failure to pay rent right now. But if they're harassing the neighbors, being unruly and unwilling to cooperate with me, I am sure I could get a local judge to grant special dispensation and get them out. Your rapport with the rental's landlord, owner is very important, as you don't want to be at odds with them. Just think of the caliber of people that could be moved in next to you. Work with the other home landlord, owner, and if that does not resolve your matter, I would look into a cheap wireless camera to record all the shenanigans for use later with the other homeowner. Police pictures or video footage of them taking the charger out of your car and plugging in their car. Unauthorized use. Once you have that, call the police, have them trespassed from your property by the police as you are the owner of your home. Ask the officer for a case number. Notify him that you will be picking up a copy of the report and ask where you should do so at. The next time they trespass onto your property, have them arrested or fined however your local PD does it. P.S. The landlord may not be the owner of the home but just a manager. You can check with your local tax assessor office to see who owns the home in question. Most have an online search or parcel map that the owner's information is publicly accessible for free. If the owner has retained a property manager to rent the property out, try contacting the owner directly to resolve the ongoing conflict, as the manager works for them.
De-escalation and resolving at the lowest level possible is the best route to take in any dispute. Good luck to you.
Turn off the breaker. Charge your car, preferably at a time that's inconvenient for them. Go inside and flip the breaker until you need to charge your car again. Rinse and repeat. When they come over to complain, tell them to notify their landlord. I'd be most concerned that the tenant thinks the use of your charger is included in their lease. Put up a no trespassing sign. Invest in a cheap security camera. When they use it, call the police for them trespassing. IANAL. I think it would be possible to build a lockbox around the charger. Leave a slot big enough for the small part of the charging cable to fit into, but not big enough for the big part to be pulled out of. Plug your car in. Close the door to the box and lock it. See if you can get a shorter charging cable so it can only reach far enough to charge your car. If I was you, I would turn the breaker off.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.